We get started. So I think we've just got HR colleagues with us this morning. So whoever's leading off, I will pass over to you. Thank you.
We're just minus a member of our staff, Phil, which is strange. We were expecting, no, she's here. That's fine. Shall I just do a bit of a quick introduction, Phil, just as to what this is about, if that's all right?
Yeah, so, great.
Morning, everybody. Stand Up for HR this morning. We've got Charlotte Veal leading this for us, who was our service transformation manager, and Anna Redgrain is our head of HR, occupational health and wellbeing. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about some of the refining of HR and occupational health administration processes that we've been undertaking as part of our LIM work. And then latterly, Anna will pick up some work that we've been doing around the management of referrals. So I'll hand over to you, Charlotte, first of all, if that's all right.
Thank you. So thank you, Jo. Thank you for that lovely introduction. So as Jo said, me and Anna are just going to talk through what we've been doing and what some of our key priorities with regards to LIM have been in occupational health and wellbeing. And Anna's thankfully running the slides for me. So thank you, Anna. So one of the first priorities that I'll be taking you through today is the demand management across the admin function. Throughout this process, we undertook a staffing restructure to provide one combined admin function across 3 centres of excellence in HR. We aim to create a more efficient service, increase managerial support in order to review and digitise processes, better map out our demand and capacity in order to flex resources where needed, and as with all our improvement programmes, hope to reduce waste in the processes. Thank you. So during and following the pandemic, we all saw an increase in demand on our services, illustrated here by the graphs that you can see on the right-hand side of this slide. Following this, we also started to see a risk identified with regards to single points of failure and lack of cross-cover in some areas of the team. With increased demand, there also came increased complexity and variations of tasks. As part of waste reduction plans, the teams had already reviewed their staffing allocations to ensure appropriately resourced service, meaning that there was no budget to create additional staff. This is why the need to review our demand and consider alternative admin support models became a priority. If we were to continue as they were, there was a risk that service users would start to see delays in responses, which in turn could impact on our colleagues' ability to deliver safe and effective care to our patients. So the team began to identify areas of waste across the department utilising Tim Wood's waste model. The next slides will showcase a few of these and the actions that they took to reduce some of these wastes. So many of the admin processes resulted in overproduction and overprocessing. The first column here provides a couple of examples. In order to tackle this, they began training sessions to discover ways of digitising some of our processes. For example, the new use of Microsoft Forms and Power Apps has enabled automation of tasks, which has reduced the amount of time admin needs to spend on these tasks. SharePoint now holds latest version documents with permissions-based access, so we can view and edit in live time. This has reduced the email traffic and has allowed for greater collaboration across departments. The integration to other Microsoft 365 apps has also reduced duplication of work. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the furthest column. This shows some of the quantifiable metrics that we've used to help evaluate the effectiveness of some of these processes. The biggest waste to us, though, which was identified, came under the human potential skills. There was limited opportunity for development in other areas, and staff were not always able to work to their full potential. We began tackling this with the support of KPO, who ran a bespoke LIM training session with the team, and we continued with additional workshops. They've been utilising the PDSA model to identify and evaluate further improvement opportunities. The team now are working with one shared vision and have a visual roadmap which highlights areas of improvement and key milestone dates. This has helped us to reduce defects in the system. For example, all the team members understanding LIM principles and the staff being at the centre of this process, we've seen that through the development of the culture of using the Leeds way has meant that they've been a lot quicker at identifying defects in the system, but also better at implementing improvements to reduce some of these defects. The support we're looking at in future is we're going to continue with some of these workshops. We're doing some development sessions for the Band 4s, but the main thing for us is this key stakeholder engagement session, so that we can showcase the fantastic work that the team are doing, but also ensure that the improvement work that we're doing is actually adding benefit and value to our other colleagues across HR and centres, service centres, CSUs. Sorry. Thank you, Anna. I will now pass you over to do the second priority.
Thank you, Charlotte. So management referrals are the most visible and valued of occupational health services, undertaken both by our medical team and specialist practitioners. Managers refer to OH to seek advice as to fitness to work and any reasonable adjustments that can be made to support the individuals remain in or return to work. Through our regular Gemba walks and production boards, we identified that our triage process primarily determined which clinician would see the client, with minimal assessment of whether there was any value to be had from an OH appointment. This culture of seeing all referrals meant that there was often waste related to waiting for individuals and line managers that delayed the prompt sharing of information that would enable local action. In addition, reduced capacity in the team, as can be seen in this graph, meant that the demand for referrals was outstripping the capacity of the team to see clients. Given the impact that this could have on staff availability and patient care within the trust, we recognised that a significant process and culture change was needed. A rapid improvement event was undertaken, bringing together all clinical staff with the admin function. During that event, we worked together to identify the key wastes around the triage process and identified a number of key cultural and process changes that needed to be implemented, as shown on this slide. As part of the RPIW, we recognised that the current clinical management system in OH placed a considerable constraint on our ability to make process change, as it is not able to provide technological solutions. That meant that our solutions had to come from outside our management system and be focused on culture and bespoke technical solutions. In order for us to achieve the changes identified on this slide, we developed an online referral form, asking questions early in the form to identify if the referral can be addressed through signposting to other support. This meant that where staff were being referred to us for mental health support or physio support, they were directed to those services as early as possible. Previous RPIW on our mental health referrals had identified that over 70% of referrals on that subject were seeking information as to how to access support services. This change from a paper form to an online form also reduced defects. Previously, 10% of referrals were rejected by admin for incomplete information. Now 100% have the compulsory sections completed. At the RPIW, we identified the most frequent referral topics where an OH appointment did not add value. These included actions managers can take locally, for example, stress and DSE assessments, as well as seeking OH permission for activity that has already been agreed. 13 areas were identified where OH does not need to see the client, and for each we agreed a standard discharge with advice template that is sent to the line manager. This step was an important cultural shift for the team in recognising that a face-to-face appointment is not the only way that OH can provide support. Prompt provision of useful information is also a clinical intervention. Our third intervention was to shift triage to our most senior clinical staff who are better able to assess the referrals and balance risk, clinical risk, against our activity. This Power BI dataset is reviewed twice weekly at production board and shows the impact of the changes we have made. Since we implemented these changes in September, we have seen a shift from 100% of referrals face-to-face to 70%, with the remaining 30% provided with supportive information to enable local action. Whilst we have taken out clinic time to enable the medical team to undertake triage, we have not seen an increase in wait times as the volume discharged with advice outstrips the reduction in capacity. As a team, we have always accepted the limitations of our outdated clinical management system and that its constraints impact the LIM changes we can make. One of the biggest learnings we had from this project is that where we can find technical solutions outside the system, they can still make a significant impact on our understanding of the business. The next phase of this project is to utilise the data to enable us to reduce the waste of managers referring where there is no value for OH to add. To enable this, we have quarterly review meetings scheduled with operational HR to monitor trends and patterns in discharge referrals by CSU. This will enable us to direct tailored advice to those CSUs and managers to increase their awareness of when and how to refer. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. I think that's really, really good work, Anna, Charlotte. I think just shows, again, stepping back from what we're all doing and actually applying the kind of objective methodology to looking at it is just so important, isn't it? To unpick where your challenges are, and actually often a little bit, as you've described there, the issues turn out to be in a slightly different place than we might have thought in the first place. So it's always great to do that. So well done, really, really important. And of course, you know, that the challenge around supporting our staff and the role of occupational health in that is just such a critical part of our improving staff retention. It's about keeping that support for all of our staff. So really great, important work. So let's open it out for some questions or comments then from colleagues. Jenny?
Morning, folks. Can you hear me? I'm struggling with my settings. Morning. Anna, thank you for doing that. I know you're feeling really under the weather this morning, so thank you. I guess I just wanted to pepper it with an exec's perspective. And all of that is absolutely fabulous work. And you can see how much of the method is being used. But I just wanted to reassure exec colleagues, highlight of our last Gemba walk, because we do them every week as standard work, was the admin team talking to me and Joe and Chris quite passionately about the changes they were making to their own work. So these are some of our most junior staff within the team, and just really good to see you using things like RPIWs, but also see you embedding the method right throughout the team. So well done.
Thanks, Jenny. Rachel?
Morning, everyone. Yeah, great presentation, thank you. And you've done so much great work. It's just really lovely to see the teams come together. My question was a little bit linked to that, about how you've engaged the people. Have you made those successes and that progress visible to the team? How have you managed to do that, and how are people engaging with it?
Do you want me to answer this? So the main thing that we've done is, I think it's fair to say that we noticed that not everyone in the team was as confident with LIM. I think they understood the basic principles of it. And I think the thing that's really helped us is we've got representation from every different sub team, and then we've got them all to come together. So it's not felt like a managerial tool that we're using to then get staff to engage with that. It is being led by them, which is lovely. And I think Jenny's point, in a nice way, our team have felt quite, I think, not empowered recently. And I think because, like you've said, during the pandemic, everyone just kind of continued to make sure they were doing and allowing them to take the time out to reflect on it and empower them to speak up. I think it's been really beneficial. And the last bit in my side of how we're going to continue that is the teams themselves have created a roadmap. So they've also looked at other things, and it's like a year-long thing, which is quite refreshing. And then they've got quarter reviews. But I think the thing we need to get better at, and one of the actions me and Anna are taking, is how do we allow them to showcase it to other colleagues, so not just in our team. And I think that's excited them a bit. And I think getting that recognition for the work that they've been doing from other colleagues and other centres of excellence in HR has really kind of kept them motivated. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte.
Well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really important point, isn't it? Kind of that sense of confidence people have got in actually using some of the Leeds improvement method tools, because there's the bit about how confident are they in using it, and then also that's still like, do they need permission from somebody to go off and do it? So I think it's starting with the team is just really a great way of overcoming that, isn't it? So well done. Okay, so I can't see any, apologies if I've can't see anybody's hand, but I can't see anyone else wanting to come in. And we are bang on time for your presentation. So thank you for that, sticking to time. So great work. Oh, Paul.
Sorry, Phil, I was trying to do a thumbs up and hit the wrong button.
Ah, okay. All right. Excellent. So look, great work. I think, as I said, really important, sort of something going on in the background for the organisation often, but in fact really critical to how we make sure we're looking after all our employees as best we can and giving them the best experience, as well as coping with the demand for occupational health services, which is also really important for us as well. So fantastic work. Great to see the team involvement focusing on the methodology. So well done, and thanks for presenting.
Thank
That's
you.
the end of
Thank
stand up.
you.
Okay, cheers. Bye. Bye.